buckle up, because today's deep dive takes us straight into some serious mysteries.
It does.
The mysteries of the afterlife. With Emanuel Swedenborg's A Treatise Concerning Heaven and Hell.
Right.
And we're only doing part 1 today.
Yeah.
You've sent over some seriously intriguing excerpts from this book.
Yes.
And let me tell you, Swedenborg's vision of heaven and hell is unlike anything I've ever encountered.
It's pretty wild.
It's pretty wild.
Yeah, and what makes Swedenborg so fascinating is that he wasn't some isolated mystic.
Right?
You know, we're talking about a prominent figure in 18th century Sweden, a government official, a respected scientist, a scholar with expertise in multiple fields.
Really impressive background.
Yeah. Yet in his 50s, he claimed to have experienced a profound spiritual awakening that gave him direct access to the afterlife.
Wow. Can you imagine having that kind of life-altering experience?
Honestly, a spiritual awakening sounds way more intense than a midlife crisis.
Oh, for sure.
But you're right. Swedenborg's background makes his claims even more intriguing.
Right.
It's not every day you hear a renowned scientist talking about angels and spirits.
Right.
And the level of detail in his writing, the sheer conviction, makes you stop and think, even if some of it sounds a little out there.
Absolutely. So for this deep dive, we're going to treat the content of his treatise as factual within the framework of Swedenborg's own experience.
Okay.
Our mission is to explore his ideas,
Okay.
uncover the connections he makes, and see if we can extract any unexpected insights that resonate with us today.
Right, because whether you take Swedenborg's visions literally or not,
There's no denying he presents a completely unique perspective on life, death, and what might lie beyond.
yeah.
So where do we even begin with this?
Well, Swedenborg's most radical idea, the one that really sets him apart, is that heaven and hell aren't physical places you go to after you die.
Okay.
He describes them as states of being
Okay.
determined by what he calls your ruling love.
Ruling love.
Yeah.
Unpack that for me. It sounds pretty intense.
Imagine this. The deepest desires of your heart, the things you truly love above all else,
Yeah.
they don't vanish when you die.
Okay.
Instead, they remain and actually shape your experience in the afterlife.
Wow.
That's your ruling love at work.
So it's not about being good or bad, following a specific religion,
Right.
but about what's truly going on inside at the core of who you are.
It's about your core.
That's pretty profound when you think about it.
It is.
What does that mean for us, listener? What does that make you think about in terms of your own life and the things you value most?
It's a question worth pondering, isn't it? And it leads directly to Swedenborg's rejection of the idea that salvation is granted arbitrarily through mercy.
Okay.
He argues that we gravitate towards heaven or hell based on our internal state, not external factors.
So it's not about what we do.
No, really.
It's about what we feel,
Well,
what we want.
Think of your ruling love as an internal compass,
Okay.
guiding you towards a heavenly or hellish experience after death.
Wow, that's quite a concept.
Yeah.
So there's no divine judgment call, no last-minute reprieve.
Yep.
It's all about this inner compass.
That's Swedenborg's view.
Okay.
He's emphasizing the power of our own intentions and desires. Okay.
Even beyond this earthly life.
Okay, so we've got this idea of ruling love, determining our experience in the afterlife.
Right.
But what does that experience actually look and feel like?
Right.
What are heaven and hell like, according to Swedenborg?
Well, you might be surprised to learn that Swedenborg's descriptions are incredibly detailed
Okay.
and much more down-to-earth than you might expect.
Okay.
Forget those vague images of fluffy clouds and harps.
Wait, are you saying there are no harp concerts in heaven?
Well,
That's my whole vision out the window.
you might be relieved to know that Swedenborg describes angelic life as surprisingly human.
Okay.
Angels have bodies, they live in societies, they dwell in houses, they wear clothing.
They even throw parties. Okay, maybe there's still hope for those harps.
And here's where it gets really interesting.
Okay. Swedenborg claims their appearance directly reflects their inner qualities.
Okay.
So the more loving and wise an angel is, the more beautiful and radiant they appear.
So inner beauty really does shine through, even in the afterlife. What a concept. But how do they communicate? Do they speak, write, sing karaoke? What do angels do for fun?
From what Swedenborg describes,
No.
they communicate much like we do through speech, writing, and yes, they even have their own forms of entertainment. He suggests that heaven is a vibrant and dynamic place full of life, love, and creativity.
Wow, that's not the image of heaven I grew up with. I have to admit, it sounds a lot more interesting.
Right.
But of course, no conversation about heaven is complete without venturing into its darker counterpart.
Of course not.
And Swedenborg doesn't shy away from the more challenging aspects of hell, does he?
He does not.
What's it like?
He describes the inhabitants of hell,
Yeah.
which he refers to as spirits and these beings called genii,
Okay.
as existing in a state of constant torment.
Oh.
He suggests they are consumed by the very evils they embraced in life.
Oh?
Remember that concept of ruling love.
Yeah.
If you're dominated by hatred, envy, or greed, those emotions don't simply vanish after death.
Right.
They become your reality in the afterlife.
It's almost as if, according to Swedenborg, we're constantly creating our own heaven or hell,
We are.
both in this life and the next. It's a chilling thought, but also incredibly empowering.
It is.
Makes you wonder, if you're brave enough, what your ruling love might be leading you towards.
It's a question that has challenged theologians and philosophers for centuries.
Sure.
And while Swedenborg offers vivid and thought-provoking descriptions of heaven and hell, he doesn't stop there.
Okay.
He also introduces us to a fascinating concept he calls the world of spirits.
Okay, world of spirits. That sounds intriguing.
Yeah.
Is this like a cosmic layover on the way to your final destination?
In a way, you could say that
Okay.
Swedenborg describes the world of spirits as an intermediate realm where souls go immediately after death.
Okay.
It's a place where individuals shed their earthly concerns and their true inner nature is gradually revealed.
So it's like a cosmic sorting hat
Right?
directing souls towards their ultimate destination based on the ruling love they carry within.
That's a great analogy. It's in this realm, according to Swedenborg, that we undergo a process of spiritual self-discovery.
Okay.
Imagine a place where you're stripped of all pretense, all external masks, and your true self is laid bare.
Wow.
What would that feel like, listener?
Yeah.
What would be revealed about your ruling love in that moment of raw authenticity?
That's a powerful image. It makes you think about the masks we wear in this life, the roles we play, and how different our true selves might be from the faces we show the world. It's like this world of spirits acts as a kind of cosmic mirror, reflecting back the truest version of ourselves.
Exactly. And what's fascinating is that Swedenborg doesn't limit this spiritual dimension to the afterlife.
Okay.
He believed it's deeply intertwined with our everyday world through a concept he called correspondence.
Okay, correspondence. That's one of those Swedenborgian terms that always makes my head spin a little.
Right.
What exactly did he mean by that?
In essence, Swedenborg believed that everything in the natural world has a spiritual counterpart.
So a kind of hidden meaning or significance.
Okay.
He called this connection correspondence. For example, he saw doves as representing innocence owls, as symbolizing false wisdom, and gardens as reflecting a state of spiritual understanding.
So it's like a secret language embedded within reality itself,
Yes.
connecting the physical and spiritual realms. And if we learn to decode this language, we can unlock a deeper understanding of ourselves and the world around us.
That's the idea.
Wow.
Swedenborg believed that the ancients understood this language of correspondence
Okay.
and used it to communicate with angels and interpret the deeper meaning of nature dreams, even everyday events.
That's incredible. It's like they had access to a hidden layer of reality that most of us are completely oblivious to.
Right.
It's wild. And Swedenborg goes even further, suggesting that the Bible itself is written using this language of correspondences.
Okay.
He argued that if we can learn to decipher these symbolic meanings, the scriptures reveal a whole other dimension of wisdom and insight.
Wow, that's mind-blowing. It's like there's this whole other level of reality operating just beneath the surface, waiting to be discovered.
Yeah.
But how do we even begin to tap into that? It seems like it would take a lifetime of study to even scratch the surface of this secret language.
It can seem daunting, but Swedenborg believed that this understanding is accessible to everyone.
Okay.
He suggests that we can start by paying attention to the world around us with a renewed sense of awareness.
Okay.
Look for the deeper meanings, the hidden connections, the symbolic resonances that might be present in your everyday experiences.
So it's like a form of spiritual mindfulness, a way of seeing the extraordinary within the ordinary.
Precisely. And Swedenborg provides some intriguing examples to illustrate this concept.
Okay.
For instance, he believed that animals, plants, even our own emotions have spiritual correspondences.
Okay, now you're really piquing my curiosity.
Okay.
So if I'm feeling, say, anxious,
Yeah.
what would that correspond to in the spiritual realm, according to Swedenborg?
Well, he might say that anxiety often corresponds to a lack of trust in divine providence.
Interesting.
It's like a spiritual message reminding you to let go of worry and surrender to a higher power. He believed that by paying attention to our emotions, we can gain valuable insights into our spiritual state.
That's fascinating. So instead of just brushing off our feelings as fleeting or insignificant, we can view them as potential messages from our deeper selves, guiding us towards greater awareness and understanding.
Exactly. And this brings us to another key aspect of Swedenborg's teachings, how to live a heavenly life. Now, you might think this means renouncing all worldly possessions and living like a hermit in the mountains.
Yeah, I was just picturing myself living in a cave, meditating on a mountaintop.
Right, but Swedenborg had a much more nuanced perspective.
Okay.
He believed that living a heavenly life isn't about withdrawing from the world, but about transforming our relationship to it.
Okay.
It's about aligning our inner loves and intentions with what is good, true, and beautiful.
So it's less about what we do and more about why we do it.
Exactly.
Our motivations, the love behind our actions. That's what truly matters.
Precisely, Swedenborg emphasizes that true spiritual growth isn't about outward rituals or dogmatic beliefs,
Okay.
but about inner transformation. It's about purifying our hearts and allowing divine love to flow through us.
That's a beautiful concept, but it also seems incredibly challenging. How do we actually put that into practice in our daily lives?
Swedenborg would say that it begins with becoming more aware of the spiritual dimension of our experiences.
Okay.
Remember that concept of correspondence?
Yeah.
He believed that we can find spiritual significance in everything we encounter,
Yeah.
in nature, in our relationships, even in our daily work.
So it's about approaching life with a sense of wonder and curiosity.
Yeah.
Looking for the deeper meaning and purpose in everything we do.
Exactly. And as we cultivate this awareness, we begin to see the world through a different lens. We realize that our lives are not just a series of random events, but part of a larger spiritual journey.
It's like we're all characters in a grand cosmic play, each with our own unique role to fulfill.
And that's a powerful image to hold on to, isn't it?
Yeah.
It suggests that our lives have meaning and purpose even when things feel chaotic or uncertain.
It's definitely a comforting thought. And it makes you wonder if Swedenborg's vision of the afterlife is accurate, if our inner loves truly do persist and shape our experiences after death. What does that mean for how we treat each other right here, right now?
That's a profound question, and it gets to the heart of Swedenborg's message.
Which
that
is?
It suggests that our interactions with others aren't just fleeting moments in time,
Okay.
but have eternal consequences.
So every act of kindness, every expression of love, every moment of genuine connection we share with another human being,
Right.
those aren't just making a difference in the present, but are contributing to the fabric of our eternal reality.
Exactly. And conversely, every act of cruelty, every moment of indifference, every harsh word we utter,
Yeah.
those also leave their mark, both on ourselves and on others.
It's a sobering thought,
It is.
but also incredibly empowering.
Right.
It means that we have the power to choose in every interaction whether we want to contribute to a more heavenly or a more hellish reality.
And that choice, according to Swedenborg, is ultimately determined by our ruling love.
Yeah.
The loves we cultivate, the values we prioritize, those will determine the trajectory of our souls, both in this life and the next.
So it all comes back to that inner compass, that ruling love that guides us.
Precisely. And it begs the question, listener, what is your ruling love guiding you towards? Is it love, compassion, and a desire to serve something greater than yourself? Or is it fear, self-interest, and a constant striving for more?
That's a powerful question to sit with, isn't it?
It is.
It's like Swedenborg is challenging us to take a deep, honest look at ourselves and ask, what kind of world am I creating with my thoughts, words, and actions? Am I contributing to a more heavenly or a more hellish reality?
And he's not suggesting this to instill fear, but to empower us.
Right.
He believed that we have the power to choose our destiny both individually and collectively.
Yeah.
We're not just passive passengers on this cosmic journey. We're active participants, co-creators of our own reality.
That's a lot of responsibility,
It-
but also incredible hope. It means that even small acts of kindness, moments of compassion, choices to act from love instead of fear, those can have a ripple effect that extends far beyond what we can imagine.
Exactly. And that brings us to the heart of Swedenborg's message,
Which is,
love.
okay,
He didn't see love as just a fleeting emotion, but as the most powerful force in the universe, the very essence of divine energy.
so we're not talking about romantic love or even familial love necessarily,
Right,
but something much larger, more encompassing.
Yes, it's a love that transcends the boundaries of self and embraces the interconnectedness of all beings. It's a love that seeks the well-being of others as much as our own and recognizes the divine spark within every living thing.
That's a beautiful vision, and it makes you wonder if maybe Swedenborg was onto something. Maybe love really is the key to unlocking a more heavenly existence, both in this life and the next.
And the journey starts right here, right now with each of us. It's about making conscious choices to align ourselves with that love, to act from a place of compassion and understanding, to see the world through the lens of interconnectedness.
So it's not about waiting for some future reward in heaven,
No.
but about finding heaven in the present moment in the everyday acts of love and service that we offer to the world.
Beautifully put. And as we cultivate this love within ourselves and extend it outwards, we not only create a more harmonious and fulfilling life for ourselves, but also contribute to the creation of a more just, compassionate, and heavenly world for all.
Wow, that's a powerful message to end on. We've covered so much ground in this deep dive into Swedenborg's A Treatise Concerning Heaven and Hell.
We have.
From the structure of the afterlife to the hidden language of reality
Right.
and the importance of ruling love.
Yeah.
It's incredible how one man's vision, even centuries later, can spark so much contemplation
Right.
and inspire us to live more meaningful lives.
It's a testament to the enduring power of these big questions about life, death, and our place in the universe.
Yeah,
And whether we agree with all of Swedenborg's conclusions or not, his work invites us to engage with these questions in a deeper, more meaningful way.
absolutely. He encourages us to look beyond the surface of things, to seek the hidden connections, and to remember that our actions have consequences that extend far beyond the immediate moment.
And ultimately, he reminds us that we have the power to choose love, to choose compassion, to choose to create a little bit of heaven right here on earth. And that's a challenge I believe we can all embrace.
It's a challenge worth embracing, wouldn't you say, listener? So as we wrap up this deep dive, let's carry Swedenborg's wisdom with us. Let's pay attention to those whispers of ruling love within, and let's see what kind of heaven we can create together. One act of love, one moment of connection, one kind choice at a time,